You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
We got a caller on the line?
We got Steve on the line. Welcome in, Steve. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. You guys need to learn about an adage called beating a dead horse, okay? Do you understand that union membership has been on the decline in the southeast United States for years? Years. If you look around in Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, that all the car manufacturers have voted down union, and you're beating the dead horse. Union. This whole idea about organized labor and unions and all that crap is dead. It's going down.
I don't disagree with you. It has been on a decline. It's been on a decline because people, because our own working folks have voted
because it's
consistently.
Unnecessary.
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. Well, I'll tell you what. You enjoy your weekend that was won by people fighting and dying in the streets.
Okay, panty waist. Enough. That happened 50 years ago.
50 years is not that long.
50
years is not that long. 50 years is not that long, and it won't take 50 years to lose it. I promise you. You get rid of unions? Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've already put in regulations to cut overtime for workers.
We've been talking about Act 10 the second half of the program. We've been talking about Act 10 in Wisconsin and how only 10 years after its passage, median pay for teachers in Wisconsin is down $11,000. You don't think that the same thing? You don't think that those politicians, those bosses, those corporate oligarchs are after your pay?
Public sector unions.
What? We'll bring you in on the other side of the break. Stay tuned. This is the Valley Labor Report.
You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
Folks, good morning and welcome back to the Valley Labor Report. My name is Jacob Morrison, here with my co-host David Story on the line. I believe we still have Steve. Steve was telling us that unions are unnecessary because now he has the weekend and he doesn't feel like he deserves any more. And I just got through telling him how we were talking about Act 10 and how only 10 years after its passage, median pay was down by more than $11,000 for teachers. And then he mentioned something about the private sector. And here's what I will say about the private sector. Since union membership started declining in the 60s, median pay for workers has stagnated while productivity has skyrocketed. CEO to worker ratio pay has increased from 25-1 to 320-1. Who is doing the producing? Who is making that productivity rise? It's the workers. And the CEOs are now making more than 300 times what their workers are making on average, and it just so happens to coincide with the decimation of union membership and the labor movement in America in concert with the agenda by corporate oligarchs and politicians in the Democratic and the Republican party's assault on labor. And so now, Steve, after that, I'll let you tell me why unions are unnecessary.
I guess Steve didn't want to hang out during the break.
Oh, did he not?
Looks that way.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. It's unfortunate that people can't come on here.
Yeah,
here's the thing. What you get away with on every other station, you can come on, you can make some asinine statement and then walk away from it because facts don't matter.
Yeah.
Facts don't matter.
And you talk about private sector union membership. My good brother Jeb Miles with the iron workers, He said right now in North Alabama, union iron workers make a package of over $44 an hour. Non-union iron workers make $20 an hour or less.
Yeah.
That's in the private sector.
The fact is, we are making. I'm making about when you take inflation into the aspect, I'm making about the same thing my father made 30 years ago. We are not, and there's a reason why everyone's in debt up to their eyeballs. Nobody's got a $500 in their savings account. They're barely scraping by. Social Security is constantly under attack. Pensions have been under attack. They are doing everything they can to make you subservient and work for the rest of your life. And you're going to sit here and say unions aren't necessary. I can tell you, if you walk out anywhere in public, and most people are literally weeks away from bankruptcy if they were to lose their job today, and unions aren't necessary anymore. Well, I mean, it's this bootlicking mentality.
It's crazy. It's like, and like, why do workers not deserve the fruits of their labor?
Why do workers not deserve to get a fair contract?
Why do workers not deserve to have control over their workplace? Why should workers have to check in or have to live their entire lives under the surveillance and the eye of their boss and like live at their beck and call? Like, that's absurd. It's absurd. And the only way, and like Steve mentioned this, and it's true, unions have been on the decline since the 60s, since the 70s, since there's been a concerted assault on organized labor, since there's been a concerted assault on working people by corporate oligarchs and politicians in both parties. And but so that is true. But that's why we're on the radio right now.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
Because we want to change that, because the only way to make our lives better, the only way to reverse the trend of CEOs stealing our labor from us, the only way to take back our time, the only way to get a fair cut of the things that we're producing is to organize.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Answer me honestly. If you're out there driving in your car right now, the car that you signed a contract for, the car that you're making payments on, or if you're sitting in your house today, the house that you signed a contract for, the house that you're making payments on, who in their right mind would go to a bank and say, we don't need a contract. I'll let you change the interest rate anytime you want. I'll let you raise the payments anytime. There's really no reason, because, hey, I can come back in and renegotiate as often as I want, right? Who do you think's going to renegotiate? You know, this idea that you can just go into your boss independently and get you a raise every year is insanity. Get a contract. Who the most important thing you're going to ever do in your life is work. Yeah. And you should have a contract stating what those working conditions are. You sign a contract for your car, and it holds both parties accountable. You sign a contract for your house, but yet you don't think you need a contract for work to hold both parties accountable? Yeah, I know. It's insane.
It's insane. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments throughout the week. And we also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So you can see if we're on your listening platform of choice. You can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. And if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, then consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.